Hey there, Saints, and welcome to Awaken Church's Sermon Spark Notes. This past Sunday, we entered into week 2 of our series going through the epistle to the Galatians as written by Paul the Apostle. And as we've seen over the course of the past 2 weeks, chapter 1 is very much Paul's story being shared, reminding these Galatian churches of the story that he has shared with them when he came to establish these churches on their first missionary journey. And in this, I want to highlight 2 key ideas. And the first one is that Paul is emphasizing here in sharing his testimony, God's transformative work in his life. God took him from a man who was a persecutor of the church, someone who was looking to destroy the way, into becoming his foremost proponent of the gospel to the Gentiles. And that is a work that only God could have done. And he's reminding these Galatians that their lives too have been transformed. And after experiencing this kind of transformation, why would they ever turn away from that gospel to another gospel, or to listen to these Judaizers who were preaching something very different? The second idea that Paul is communicating here is that as an apostle, I was not appointed by men. This message that I've received was not given to me by men. This gospel, this good news story, was not something that was the product of man's wisdom or our creative thinking. It came directly from the lips of Jesus. It is a revelation of God. And however brilliant or wise or wonderful mankind may be, we cannot compare man's wisdom with God's revelation. And so Paul again is emphasizing that having been appointed by Jesus Christ himself, having been given this good news, this gospel story from God himself, God's revelation to you, that these Galatians should not, in light of that, choose to listen to men's wisdom over God's revelation. And so for Paul, he has said, this is my calling to fulfill this mandate to go and share the good news. And you too have a calling. You too have received this good news. Your life has been transformed. Live up to that calling. And for me, that's what I hope that our saints was able to take away from this past week. That we too, like Paul, have been called out of darkness and into light. From death, we have been transformed and become sons and daughters of Christ. And being transformed by the gospel, would we now fully, daily live out the calling God has placed on our lives? And that would be what I want to charge you, church, to think upon and wrestle with over the course of this coming week. That God, having transformed my life, has called me to be a part of his work. And am I giving him my best every single day? And I pray that you will be. Thank you, saints. Have a great week.